Hey, what's going on, everybody, and thanks for joining me again. We have another Rethink take here, and I got a good close buddy who's done this plenty of times, Doug Sluka. Thanks for joining me, brother.
Oh, always a pleasure, you know? I look forward to it every time.
Every time. So, we just finished up a miraculous weekend of just... the fact that I've been looking forward to this past weekend for well over a year.
Since they announced it.
Exactly. Literally since they announced it. We've covered it enough on this podcast. I think we do need to acknowledge it, though. Why did we get the All-Star Game? We got the All-Star Game. Oh, well, let's acknowledge what this weekend was. This weekend was the Cleveland 2019 MLB All-Star Game. And we were able to host it, even though it wasn't our time to host it for another 15 years at least. We got it because we sacrificed our chief. And my dad was convinced that I was going to get kicked out of the game, and I thought there was a good chance I was going to get it taken away. But I wasn't on the Jumbotron, obviously, but I took this sign to the All-Star Game. It says, "This wasn't worth sacrificing our chief." I posed with so many people for pictures. It was a blast. It
Celebrity.
That's what it made me feel like. All these people were like, "Oh my God, can I take a picture of your sign?" And I would just pose with it. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, it wasn't worth sacrificing our chief because, wow, that was an amazing, fun weekend. It is over.
It was only a few days.
And so is our friend. The thing that we've grown so close to and loved since we were our youth. My Little League games had him on it. So
my Pee-wee baseball hat, Chief Wahoo. I still wear it, not Pee-wee. It was from middle school, but it was adjustable. I still wear it because you can't really buy Chief Wahoo anymore. Good Chief Wahoo hats. They still have it, but they're not good.
I do the same thing. I have my Pee-wee hats.
Classic red brim, blue hat, Chief Wahoo. You can't buy that classic one really anymore. You still can, but it's harder now.
It's harder.
Shouldn't be that hard.
It's becoming a relic.
Yeah, it shouldn't be that hard to buy a classic Indians baseball cap.
I agree. I 100% agree. Okay, so breaking down our weekend since we didn't really talk about it.
And we both were there.
We both were there. So first was Friday.
And that's when
you had Friday off.
Yep, took Friday off.
And I ran into you, ironically. I thought for sure I was going to run into you earlier than we did. What's funny is we got there right when it opened. Did you get the Frankie Lindor bobblehead?
No.
They gave away Frankie Lindor bobbleheads.
Dude, I didn't get there until 12:30 that day.
Yeah, that was it. It was for the first 400 guests or something.
Oh, yeah, those were gone right at 10 then when they opened up.
Well, we were there right at the get. It was so fun. But, like you said, so I felt terrible because at work, all around town, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to the Fan Fest. Like, you need to go to the Fan Fest. And I'm like, totally hyping this up. I'm like, you got to go. Why haven't you gone? Me and my dad go to all of them. The most unfortunate part about the Fan Fest was that was literally the worst Fan Fest I've ever been to.
Thank you. Thank you.
My dad said the same thing. It was extremely disappointing.
It wasn't very organized. Everything was kind of weird places. They didn't have good signs, in my opinion, either. But then it was just definitely geared more toward kids, which I get a little bit, but there was only a few things where you could do where you just walked around. Everything else required you to wait in line, scan your code you had to sign up and wait in line for.
Insane.
And you had to wait in line to get the code to then wait in line to do everything they had that was fun.
I felt like I was at Cedar Point, and yet I wasn't at Cedar Point.
Yeah, because there was no roller coaster worth the wait.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun just spending the day with my dad. I didn't have a lot of fun waiting in line like we had to, which was extremely unfortunate. And what made the other ones fun, I was telling my dad, my dad made me sit there and read every little sign next to every...
My dad loves that. The museum there, we spent 45 minutes in that tiny little museum because my dad was looking at everything.
And my dad was utterly, he was dead set on the fact that we needed to see everything and read every sign. I was bored at that point real quick. But... what's funny, did you notice they had the one section with all of the relics and memorabilia that they were auctioning? It was other players' stuff.
Yes,
and dude,
yeah.
They had 5 long, 4 foot long, maybe 6 feet tall cases, 5 of them full of Ivan Rodriguez stuff. His batting gloves, his catcher's front gear, his batter's bags, think of it. His jock strap. I'm saying everything of Pudge's was all over. I mean, dude, we grew up with Pudge. He was a great, I mean, granted, he was in the era of, I mean, I brought this up a lot this weekend, and it's funny taking the wind out of people's sail when you talk about Jim Thome, and it's like, yeah, but he was at the end of an era of don't ask, don't tell when it came to steroids. Pudge Rodriguez.
Dude, he's still pretty big, though. Were you looking at him down there?
Dude, my sister agreed with me.
He was pretty big.
Dude, no.
He was still hitting the ball, too. It's softball.
Well, I mean, come on.
Travis Hafner hit a fucking... Travis Hafner hit the first only
Travis Hafner
home run.
wasn't on the roids that these guys were on.
Okay, well, he's not on roids.
On that.
You think he's still on roids now, not having played in, like, the last 6 years?
Jim Thome?
No, Travis Hafner. Or
no,
Jim
he's definitely
Thome.
not. But
so Travis Hafner was still able to hit a home run with a softball ball in a major league stadium. He hit it 400 feet into the outfield.
Oh, whoa. Where did you get 400 feet?
He hit it to right field. That's like 380 something.
He did hit it well over
yards, whatever.
He did hit it well over that short fence.
It was a okay.
But he didn't go over the fence, which is at 316.
No, he didn't go over the monster. He didn't go over the monster, but he hit it over the actual fence. He hit an actual home run with the softball.
At the softball game.
At the softball game. He hit an actual
softball over the fence that they built.
No, he hit an actual one over the actual. And they announced it in the stadium. Maybe you weren't there, but
I was there.
They announced it. That's the first real home run in celebrity softball game history. He hit it over the actual Major League Baseball fence.
But that was like 316 feet.
No, that was the right field is like 380.
That one's closer
But he
than
hit
the
over
left field.
the actual MLB fence. That's 380 because the left field's like straight ahead is like 400 and some feet. I was looking at it during the home run derby. Right field is like 380.
Right field's closer than left field.
Yeah, and that's why left field has a monster.
Yes.
So he was hitting it. He hit a right field home run, and that's like 380 yards.
325 yards is literally what I'm seeing.
What about right there?
He hit it, and he didn't hit it.
Okay,
you know he hit it right there.
It wasn't 3. Okay, whatever. I'm wrong. He still hit an actual major league home run though there, and it's the first one ever. And they've had other retired MLB players there. So what's it matter if they were doing steroids? He was still able to do it.
Yo, I've been saying forever, make the MLB roided again. Like, let's come on. That's when the MLB was way more fun.
Well, they're blaming
Somebody
on the
pointed
ball.
it out. They go, remember back when home run derbies were out of the park and now they're just really high in the stand? You can't even get it to the third level anymore. It's all like lower level because nobody's allowed to do steroids. So back to my point, Ivan Rodriguez, post-steroids, must be really hung up for cash, because this dude was selling everything but his left nut. Like, this dude was... He probably was selling his house, too. It was so weird. You had, Babe Ruth's baseball, Lou Gehrig's left shoe, and then you had Ivan Rodriguez's everything. And it was just hilarious. It's like, I wonder how he's doing financially. Even though he was really successful, played for the Yankees and was a really great baseball player, headed right to the Hall of Fame. But it's like, yo, why are you selling all your stuff?
I don't know. But I noticed all that stuff. I didn't really, make the connection to the fact that he was selling pretty much everything. I was just like, oh, this is cool. You can buy a lot of memorabilia. I didn't make
Ivan Rodriguez.
Yeah. But I was like, I didn't really make the connection. It's like, oh, yeah, this is... everything. I didn't really make that connection. I was like,
dude,
man, he has
I was able to pick up on it after you saw one case of Ivan. You're like, all right. Then you went over to the next case. You're like, this is all Ivan Rodriguez shit again. And then you go over and you're like, oh my God, we have more Ivan Rodriguez stuff. And then you got, dude, 5 of them. And you're just like, dude, what, are you selling your firstborn too? Like,
you're selling your firstborn. He might be for all we know.
That's what I'm saying. It was funny. But, all in all, it was way too baby. I felt like I was at a baby convention. And it just wasn't for me. It was fun but you know what I pointed out to my dad? I go, the last All-Star game I went to with my dad was 2009. So literally 10 years
the
ago.
Yankees one?
It was St. Louis.
Oh.
And 2010 was the Yankees. We were in New York for it, didn't go to it. But it's just like, the fan fest is nothing like what it was when we went. It's just way more childish. But moving on, that's what I was going to say. So we went to the 21 Pilots concert that evening. these were
bastard.
free tickets that you had to buy because they sold out in within 10 minutes. But because it was a free concert, the Indians made the tickets non-transferable. So it was like stuck on your phone. So we had to pay a guy to like literally, he was going to let 6 tickets die. And I go, yo, if you take those, we will buy them for $65 a pop. That's what he had them on Craigslist. But he was like, I found out they're non-transferable. I'm like, you should come up here. And there's 200, some dollars for you to pocket if you take us in. So that's what he did. But when we were going in, I was talking about how disappointing the Fan Fest was. And he's like, dude, today's Kids Day. Like, that's what you should have expected. I bet it's going to be completely different, when they're the other days.
No fucking way.
But, dude, I don't know. I highly doubt it.
I
was there all weekend.
Did you go Saturday too, then?
My dad went back Tuesday to get a Babe Ruth ball appraised. And when...
like his ball.
And he said it was the same shit, It was like...
Yeah, I didn't think they were going to change it all up. Like, that stuff is set up. Like, maybe they had more characters there. Maybe they had more activities outside on that field. But, like, I find it hard to believe they would change a lot up just for, like, one Kids Day.
Right.
But, like, honestly, the whole thing was geared towards kids, and it was kind of disappointing. It was still fun to be down there and everything and see it all and be there. Be like, hey, I came here. But, yeah, kind of disappointing.
Right. So... something I also kind of wanted to talk about was I was lucky enough to have seen 21 Pilots within 6 days of each other. So I saw them Saturday in Columbus.
Oh, that was your concert
and then
in Columbus, yeah.
6 days later, I saw them Friday. And what was interesting was my heart was broken again because they didn't play Tear My Heart. So they tore my heart twice in 1 week. But it was literally the same concert. Just boiled down a little shorter. Still an hour and a half, but it wasn't like the 2 hours we had in Columbus. And even in Columbus, at the end of the concert, he's like, you all probably didn't notice, but we played Olive Trench. And, he didn't say that in the Cleveland show. So there was a few that I was hoping to hear, didn't hear it. But, dude, it was so weird. It just felt like maybe I wasn't... okay. When I left, I felt like they felt... like they were monkeys, just like doing their deed.
Because it was free.
But they still got paid real well for the MLB.
Good by MLB.
But it was the same thing. And remember, the Bandito tour ended in Columbus. So that was the end of their turn. Like, they were done. It was more of a celebration.
Yeah.
Then they came up for this. You could tell their heart wasn't in it. And there's a point where, I'm telling you, the whole fucking thing is so choreographed. To the head turn, to the joke, to the step here.
Because they do it every day.
Right. And that's inevitable. But there's a point where Tyler, the drummer, is like, and he does this, like, move to the crowd. Like... and you could tell his soul was not in it. Like, it was just like, just doing a chore, like the monkey doing his dance for the, and your heart kind of breaks for them, but it's like also you're racking in the dough. That's why you're doing this cash grab across the country. But I don't know. I feel like it kind of dampened the whole experience. It was still an amazing concert. I still love their music, and I'm still always going to enjoy it. But it was just kind of like, I think seeing it so close, it being the same thing, you're kind of like, man, I thought Columbus is their coming home tour. They're from Columbus.
Exactly.
And I hoped that they were going to give Columbus like a special show. Like, I'm home. It's the end. And for it to be the same exact, it's like, yo, we got the Baltimore show. We got the, Houston tour, we've got all, nobody missed a thing. And I guess that's only inevitable for them to be but I guess it just doesn't feel as I don't know, personable. And that's kind of the reason I go to concerts. It's like, I could listen to you on my iPod any fucking time I want. I could replay the same video of you on YouTube over and over again.
His concert's probably online already.
But his concert is incredible. It's really, really fun. But it was the same thing. And it's weird. I've been to so many other concerts where, like, there's an encore. Where they're all like,
they always do an encore.
Both shows, no encore. And it was like,
people cheering too about it for it?
No. It was like a consensus among everybody that up, over, boop, and left. And I was like, whoa. No one else is chanting for Tear My Heart?
Encore. You gotta start cheering and then they'll come out. Or if they don't, Then everyone
Then they
bitches
look
and
shitty.
moan, and they look bad. Exactly. Social media, it's all over the next, like, 10 minutes after. Oh, everyone's cheering for an encore. They're not doing it. Dude, they'd be, like, all over social media within, like, 5 minutes. So it's
You're
like, if you
100% right.
cheer it, they'll probably come out and do it.
But it's also led me to believe that you'll never get an encore again. Because everything, like literally as soon as it was over, there was a swarm of worker bees to tear apart the
Stadium.
stage and the...
But they had to get it down that day.
Right, well, not the stage, because the Killers were playing the next day. They just needed to get their equipment off, but it was like they didn't even let rest 5 minutes for the crowd to do anything or make. So I'm led to believe...
Pretty good signal.
I mean, dude, you notice...
Pretty good signal.
But you notice, like, I looked at Kemp at one point, and I turned around and I go, dude, he's not even singing. He was, like, it wasn't like his mic was wasn't live, but
He was just
you
kinda-
could tell
he was hard
there
listening.
the music was so loud, and he was singing in the music had the vocals in it, so it was like there would be times where he's not singing and it's singing, so it's like
So he was lip syncing?
not necessarily, but the way musicians in this platform do it anymore, they'll do like the chorus is always already still on there. And they'll rap over themselves or sing over themselves. Like, the chorus is always on there. It's the free flow and stuff that they usually, actually do. And so, I noticed just there are bits and some of those songs had
They were getting
few
lazy.
more. So, back to my point, I think they need to have, if the encore song is Tearing My Heart, they need to have that choreographed and already in the system ready to play.
Which
because
they didn't.
And they didn't, so they were never going to do it, right?
Well-
So they're so monkey in a cage that you'll never get that encore again because that's not the way music is made anymore. That's,
Well, like, you kind of were talking about, like, oh, this is Columbus, their hometown. What were we kind of talking about a little bit ago about MGK? He has Hotel Diablo, brand new CD. We looked it up. He's not even fucking coming to Cleveland. He's not coming to his hometown.
which is insanity.
At least they went to their hometown. At least they performed. Is
Columbus.
MGK even coming to Columbus? I'm not sure he's even coming to Ohio.
He's coming to Cincinnati.
Oh, wow. Cincinnati, that's really easy for the whole state to come to.
I mean,
when
you
it's your
couldn't
one-
go the more opposite side of your hometown.
If he goes to Columbus, at least he can get more
Actually,
people.
let's see. I don't want to misspeak because I think I saw him somewhere in Ohio.
Did he add it?
Actually, it's a random city. I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure he wasn't coming to Cleveland regardless, and that's...
He isn't, which is insanity. That's
and I would
crazy.
love to see him. And I love his new album.
Dude, there was our friend Miranda. She had her 18th birthday at a DJ
Oh, yeah.
EV. It was his birthday as well, and it was me, Eric from football, and Sierra, and the four of us went to go to this concert. And sorry, guys, I'm trying to find the tour as well. So anyway, there was a surprise performance by MGK, and he was performing. Bah, bah, bah. He came. The whole place was bumping because it
He
was a
doesn't do that
small
anymore.
spot.
Doesn't pop up anymore.
Well, dude, he just started walking through the crowd, and dude, people were swarming him. And then there's this girl next to me. She was really attractive, and she was probably a solid 5 years older than me. Because, I'm 18. She was well into her 20s. And he goes, "Yo, why aren't you grinding on this chick?" And I was like, I'm 18. I don't even know how I got in this club. And I'm just like, I don't know. And he's like, "Yo." And he just grabbed this girl and he's like, "Yo, dance with this guy." And I was dancing with this super attractive girl. And I'm like, "Yo, MGK just wingman for me. Like, this is the coolest
The
thing
ultimate
ever."
wingman.
The ultimate wingman. Dude, it
You
was
need
the
to tweet
greatest.
that to him. Be like, yo, remember when you wingmaned me? Can you come back into town and wingman again?
Wingman again?
You were the best wingman ever.
Yeah, dude, it's a killer that we used to have that side of MGK, like you had, he was all
He
Cleveland.
performed in Cleveland. He performed at, like, the New Year's event in
But
Cleveland.
he gave us a special, like,
I saw him at Warped Tour in high school, like 2011 or 2012, and he was performing at Warped Tour, and it was awesome. He, like, came on 15 minutes late. He's like, "This is my hometown. They want me to cut my show short. Well, if they do, I say let's freaking riot." Obviously, he didn't say freaking. He's like, let's fucking riot. He got the crowd all pumped up. And so he played for an extra 45 minutes than he should have, even if he would have had a full time. And they did not even attempt to get him off the stage.
Really?
And he was climbing like the pole, like up, like to like the like on the side, like where the lights were. He was pulling the light, climbing it, jumped into the crowd, and I'm like, Jesus, I don't know how those people caught him. He jumped from like up there, but oh my god, he put on a great show. And it's like I don't feel like Cleveland really gets to see
we
that.
saw MGK at Lollapalooza, and that was by far
puts on a show,
him and
man.
Capital Cities were the best performances at the show we were at. Chance the Rapper was not bad, but it was
Pretty disappointing a little bit.
It is mildly.
I heard he tries to preach a little bit.
Oh my God, he's almost like a Kanye. I mean, you don't get to Kanye's level, but damn, he was all about like he had things to say. And the thing that bugs me about some of these people like Megan Rapinoe or LeBron James, and listen, you've got a badass platform that you've earned. Chance the Rapper the same as well. You've earned it. But do you honestly believe your opinions? Because that's what they are. They're not factually grounded. They're not deeply involved into deep, academia. Y'all stopped school at or before college, right? So to think that with your giant platform, you earn the right to influence millions over philosophers, political scientists, those that have dedicated their lives to the science, but they're just stuck in academia. They're teachers, professors, lawyers, whatever they are. Do you honestly believe you have more knowledge and should be it just bugs me. It's like, Megan Rapinoe, she did great. But for you to be shitting on a country few miles from D-Day,
with her T-sip?
No, that's Alex Morgan.
Oh.
This girl disrespects the anthem on purpose because she hates our
country. Oh, yes, that's right. Yes.
And she's doing it miles from Normandy Beach in France. Like, are you insane? But so I guess what bugs me is like back to our point. Chance, it's really great that you have a microphone in front of thousands, 100,000 people. Something I'd kill for the opportunity to do, right? To have that opportunity. And you've earned it. But you've earned it through an avenue of getting to play music all the time, right? Like, playing music is fun. Reading Kant's Imperative, not fun. Plato's Republic, not a thrill. However, there's people that have read those and have a deeper understanding of society and social issues. And they're stepped right over. They're not even heard. So it's like, I can't hate on them doing it, but at the same time, I think it's a shady low blow that they don't deserve. Yeah, what's up?
What do you think about Colin Kaepernick going after Nike for the Betsy Ross shoe because it had the original?
So how about this?
13
Did you
colonies.
see Bryce Harper's shoe with Under Armour? So first off, the Under Armour CEO has been under huge flack because it came out that he voted for Trump. And
God forbid he vote
as
for
a
who
result,
he wants to.
He's doubling down. He's just like, all right, well, I guess I got to support him.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So, everybody that doesn't know about what happened with the Colin Kaepernick shoes, Nike supposedly, I'm going to get on my conspiracy there in a second, but Nike supposedly had these Betsy Ross
already
shoes
made
that were going to come out as limited edition 4th of July shoes.
Would have bought them too.
They would. No, you wouldn't have.
I would have.
But you want them now.
I would. Now I would. I probably would not have bought them before.
Back to my point. Hold on. I'll get to my conspiracy. So they made these shoes with the Betsy Ross flag, which is the woman who created our flag, those that don't know.
Original 13 stars.
Sewed the original 13 stars. So we have the 13 stars on a circle on the side of the shoe. The rest of it's the regular flag. Colin Kaepernick came out and declared, as the king of society of social issues for Nike, he declared that these shoes are racist because they're from a time of
slavery.
Moo.
So I guess all of our history before the 1900s is just racist, or everything before the 1940s Fuck, I guess everything before the 2000s is racist, right? Because we were apparently just racist all the freaking time.
Right.
So I guess all the way up, no, probably all the way up to 2019. Everything before now, I guess it's just racist. We have to just forget it. Throw it out. D-Day, racist. World War I, racist. The Civil War fought to free them, racist.
And remember, we need to all be paying restitution and everything for.
Yes, they want the Senate to vote on restitution. It's like, how far removed are we? How can you even tell, though?
How could you tell me? I'm gonna get on my high
I pay
horse.
taxes now, and you would take my tax money?
Not even that shit. How could you tell me, someone whose grandparents, one, were oppressed by the Nazis in Greece, hiding in trees and almost murdered, not being Jewish, just being in the way of a horrible person. So I have family who were literally directly influenced by the Nazis, get no restitution from that. However, we as Americans are paying restitution to Israel and Jewish Americans for just feeling bad. We share the check with Germany. We've done nothing. They did everything. And yet, somehow, our tax dollars pay for that as well.
What, you mean because we subsidize Israel?
No, we pay restitution with Germany. For whatever reason.
Germany paid all their World War II restitution.
No. It's an annual fee that is almost to eternity.
Germany paid their restitutions,
No.
10 years ago they finished paying their World War II restitutions. No, that was World War I restitutions. Because the Treaty of Versailles gave them a bunch of debt, and they only just recently paid that off.
Reparations.
Yeah.
Using the wrong
Restitutions,
word.
reparations, whatever. It's a Friday.
Yeah, dude. America and East Germany, Germany, pay reparations to Israel.
Well, we also subsidize all of Israel's military,
and remember, Israel's paying that out.
But they're also one of our best allies in the Middle East. So.
But that's not my point. Here's America paying reparations to Jews who were just as equally oppressed in this situation. My grandparents were, grandma was, and we're not getting any reparations. And in fact, you're going to come to us now that we've come here and say that, just because of your skin color, you had nothing to do with slaves. If anything, you were about to be enslaved yourself. And the white people next to you across this pond, not even while you were alive, years and years and years ago, actually 3 generations removed before your old ass, they owned a slave, so you owe us money. You have to pay us. That's just straight insanity.
Well, it wouldn't be coming from, the slave owner's family. It'd be coming from the federal government would be paying the restitutions.
Right.
Reparations, whatever.
That we're all paying.
Yeah.
That's all of us.
Yeah, exactly. And we are so removed.
Okay, we got totally derailed.
Oh, dude, I can't remember what we were originally talking about.
But to get to the main point is Nike pulled these shoes, the Betsy Ross shoes, off the shelf because Colin Kaepernick, the king of social issues, declared them racist. And we all bowed and like Kobayashi. We dropped that shit like a hot potato. And Nike pulled it. So, as a result, these shoes that were like $115 are now going for $5,000 in a Chinese black market. Because China has them all now. So...
Oh, yeah, because they're made in China and just probably never shipped. Well, no, they didn't pull them until right before 4th of July. Wouldn't they have already been shipped to the U.S.?
Beats the hell out of me, dude. Or they sent them back.
Or they're counterfeit ones in China because they also make counterfeit everything, too.
They're in the same factory. They're just...
Exactly. People take stuff off those lines and sell them online. Right. That's how a lot of people make money in China, too. My buddy's like, yeah, this person walked out of the store and gave me a brand new iPhone.
So now there's crazy high demand for this, right? And these shoes are hot as, Well, as a result, Under Armour, for Bryce Harper, made Betsy Ross shoes. And they are sexy.
I didn't even notice that.
Here, let's see if I can.
But that makes my day.
Oh, yeah.
And that makes me happy, especially because they are the main competitor to Nike.
Here, I'm going to put the picture right here. I'm going to put it on the screen. I'm going to get extra tech savvy.
Oh, you're going to get tech savvy this time?
The podcast.
Oh.
We're going to put the picture in this spot.
It's going to be right here, people. If he keeps his word. We'll find out.
I'm going to forget I said this. I'm going to forget I made this promise, and it will not happen.
And I'll laugh.
But let's see. Bryce Harper. Betsy Ross.
First thing that
cleats.
comes off when you put B after Bryce Harper. It's first thing that comes up.
Look at those.
Oh, I love them. Does it have like the... Oh, yeah, there's the...
Yeah, it's got the Betsy Ross flags. I love the wood grain color to be around the
cleat at the bottom.
cleat at the bottom.
I like that. Those are
it's a
good.
Sharp shoe.
Oh, those are
man.
good.
It's a sharp shoe. People at home, I'm not going to promise that it's good quality of a picture because I'm going to have to, rig it a little bit. But
They're pretty cool. Oh, is that the underneath of it? American flag.
yeah, look at that.
Oh my gosh.
It's just yellow.
Red, white.
Red and white stripes down the bottom. Ooh, look
Underneath
at these
it
Miami
at the
ones.
bottom.
Those are sharp. Okay, but we're getting sidetracked. At the end of the day, I thought that was awesome. That was a great opportunity of Under Armour to stick it to Nike. But I want to get onto my conspiracy theory. I really believe, so Nike is well known for being a company that capitalizes on social issues. That's their thing. Like, they have exceeded, like, they've reached the pinnacle of what sports attire can do. And as a result, they are now doubling down on a new avenue of making money where the whole corporate realm is moving, which is social justice. As a result, who'd they get for their poster boy? The worst football player, but best face for the issue, Colin sucks at football, Kaepernick.
Can't get a job in the NFL, Kaepernick.
Well, no, he could. Actually, he decided to opt out of the choice.
Oh, he really, he had those
he's a total
many choices,
No, Denver offered him, you knew that. Denver offered him a position, and he didn't want to be third string, so he opted out.
He wasn't going to be a starter. He's never going to be a starter, and he wasn't good enough to be a starter.
So as a result, no one picked him up. You didn't want to be a third string at Denver. As a result, no one picked you up. You fell through the cracks and were forgotten. Then you were able to capitalize on your afro, and now you're an ultra-millionaire, more than you could have ever made with your shitty talent at football. And what sucks is there's no liberal SJW that actually watches football, or if they do, isn't picking the crud between their toes, and has, like, none of these SJWs have actual knowledge of football, so they have no idea how bad he really was at the time compared to his counterparts. So
he was average. He's like every quarterback the Browns have had since Bernie Kosar. Average.
Yeah.
They look good, sure. Okay, yeah, they have some good plays now and then. Okay, that you put some supporting cast around them and you could make them look decent. Colin Kaepernick was just that, a decent quarterback. But because he's black, because he took a knee, people wanted a team to sign him.
He had flags with pigs on them. Socks with police officer pigs on the sock. And so it's like,
yeah,
he was an instigator.
And also, so he's not even that good. And on top of that, the media flack. I think of a team. Okay, so we're obviously in Cleveland. We love our Brownies. And what did we do? We got Kareem Hunt. We took some flack. But do you think the Browns would have taken more flack if they got Colin Kaepernick? Like, I just don't think teams wanted to risk seeing the shit storm that could be brewed by Colin Kaepernick being on your team.
But
Kareem Hunt doesn't bring that extra.
I don't want to step into that bear trap. I think making that argument only loads the gun of the liberal that gets to go, that's my point. That's my point. This was collusion. You did not hire him, not because he didn't have the talent, but because you didn't like the messages he was spewing.
No, he's not good. He's not good. He's not worth because he had been in the league for a while and he was a veteran. The amount of money he was demanding, he's not worth. You can draft someone and pay them next to nothing in NFL money terms, a lot of money in the real world, but next to nothing in NFL money, and roll a dice, and he could be better or just as good as Colin Kaepernick. Like, he was a good quarterback, but he wasn't worth the price that he wanted, and that's not collusion.
Right.
And he was not worth the price he was demanding. He was demanding a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then he was like,
and if you also, to further your argument, if you really boil down a huge aspect in considering a player to bring onto your team. Half of that is, what are they going to do to the chemistry of your locker room?
It's all about locker room chemistry.
100%.
Baker Mayfield changed our chemistry because we kicked out Hugh Jackson, kicked out Todd Haley, and Baker Mayfield stepped up as the leader in the locker room.
Right.
And look what it did. Only a few games, only a small sample size, but most wins we've had in years.
Exactly.
Because the chemistry.
And yeah, you're 100% right.
You
and
can't
that's
have
the
a
unfortunate
poison
part.
thing in there. Like, that's why, like, JR didn't want to play for the Cavs. That's why we just... JR never showed up. Because we didn't want him there.
And that was it, too.
We had a whole rookie team. It's like, we don't need that bad juju in the locker room.
Oh, I can't wait. We got to save talking about JR when we talk about the celebrity game. I got a lot,
Well, let's move on to the celebrity game.
No. So, real quick, bringing it back to tie up the bow on Friday, we were talking about Machine Gun Kelly, right? So, he's going to Pittsburgh, and he's going to Philadelphia. Worst of all, he's going to Pittsburgh. Like,
and is he
you're
in
going
Ohio
to
anywhere?
Schittsburg, and you want to know where he's going in Ohio? Whoa, I was right. He is going to Cincinnati, but that isn't the only one. He's going to Butler.
Dude, we should go. We can go to Miami. Is like that Butler, like Butler County? Is it in Butler County?
Est Fest.
Oh, EST. That's our wait, no. I don't know. Is that
I don't know.
Is that an OU fest? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. We gotta look at where Butler is because I'd go to that. A fest sounds more
Second
fun.
or third?
And it's 2 days, August 2nd and August 3rd.
Got to go to the third.
All right, well, still, regardless, he's not coming to Cleveland.
That's not fair.
Your hometown, MGK. I hope you listen to this. We love your Hotel Diablo. Only just came out, and we've listened to it like a bunch of times.
Yeah, what the hell?
But why aren't you coming here? Machine Gun Kelly, answer me. Why aren't you coming here? Give me a call, bro.
I wish
Hit us up on YouTube.
I wish anybody could see Doug's passionate face from the side. He was just like, what the heck, man? What the heck? I love it. Machine Gun Kelly, I hope you're hearing, because these are really passionate, heartfelt people whose souls are cracked because of your choices. So Friday was a blast. 21 Pilots
They
was
should
great.
have MGK as one of those two. They should have 21 Pilots and
I said the
MGK
same
instead
thing.
of the Killers. Then you have a Cleveland and a Columbus, both Ohio people. For the
Who did
Cleveland...
that not make sense to? Whoever was in charge of this shit.
Drop the ball.
Yeah.
Or MGK didn't want to come.
I'm going to tell you, that was it. Machine Gun Kelly did not want to do it. He did the Cleveland...
Wait, is he on tour right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's somewhere. He could have made it work, I bet.
Dude, he was there Sunday for the game.
That's right. He was there. Yeah, Sunday for the celebrity softball game. You're telling me he couldn't come in for Saturday concert because Friday was
But
21
now he's
Pilots.
too good, dude. Now he's popular as hell. So now it's like, I don't need the...
Yeah, he's popular because of his. I think his feud with Eminem helped escalate him a little bit, and
Rightfully so,
And that's
damn it.
exactly what Eminem says in Kill Shot. Is that he gave him a career only to ruin it? But I still don't. I don't think his career is ruined.
MGK won.
But
I think, unpopular
Thank you.
opinion,
It is
MGK
the
won.
unpopular opinion.
Eminem is a bitch. He lost and should bend over and take it because MGK was serving it, son. I'm very passionate
plus
about
MGK's for fucking Cleveland. I always got your back, man. So come here. Come here. Like, I said the same thing to people, and I got a lot of shit. I'm like, dude, you're telling me you don't want to back a goddamn Cleveland, bro? Like, Cleveland till you die.
And yet he won't come.
Yeah, he won't come. I guess he's at Cleveland till he dies.
No, he must have died. That's why he's in Hotel
have died.
Diablo.
He's in hell.
All right. So that was fun. Then Saturday, I got up nice and early, called you a bunch of times, but you were in no man's land.
Yep.
Went with my parents to the West Side Market, saw Nick Foster, shout out Nick Foster, saw him serving up some meats. And then, West Side Market, classic, European
Cleveland.
market, Cleveland spot.
Cleveland landmark.
It is a landmark. It's been over there for over 100 years. Classic spot.
Over.
Exactly. And so, also I was there, got up nice and early. I felt like I was in New York, dude, because it was such a special situation where they had a line. They brought in only so many people at a time. But I got this limited edition Kid Cudi Cleveland Indians All-Star
I am
Game
jealous.
hat.
I wish I would have.
And it is sexy.
I wish I would have been alive for it.
Boo! I wish you were alive too, but you were in Hotel Diablo with the dead MGK.
That I was.
So, That's why you're not Cleveland. You're dead. Cleveland until last Saturday.
I died in Cleveland, though, so that at least counts.
You're a ghost haunting Cleveland. So Saturday was a blast. What did we do Saturday? Our friend Ariel came into town. Got to hang out with her for a bit. It was just a very long night because I was extremely exhausted.
But that had nothing to do with the All-Star game. But yes, exhausting weekend. Because it was 4th of July weekend, too. So.
Oh, that was it, too. It just rolled. It was
one continuous, 7 days of just, All-Star stuff. Well, right. 6 days of All-Star stuff.
And then, Sunday. You went to the celebrity match.
Oh, that was so much more fun than I thought it was going to be. And Simone Biles... She's beautiful.
She's gorgeous. Drop dead gorgeous.
So
I married
tiny
her yesterday.
But she was the worst softball.
And can we acknowledge the other girl?
Her glove every time.
The other girl from Stranger Things.
From Stranger Things.
They both sucked.
But she was Team World, so I didn't care. Simone Biles was Team Cleveland, so I was rooting for her. I wanted her to do something. Team Cleveland.
We acknowledge?
I wanted to buy a Team Cleveland jersey. But I couldn't find those at the stadium.
They weren't selling them.
I don't think you can buy them. It's that's the jersey I want is Team Cleveland.
Yeah, that would have been fun.
That's the one I wanted.
They would have sold a shitload of
those.
Where are they? What were they thinking?
MLB, if you ever listen to this, you done fucked up.
I'm going to tell you, way to really pander to your audience. Hey, huge corporation, hire me as I cuss at you. No, but the main thing is the MLB is terrible at monopolizing, making money. They are not a good. That's why the MLB is slowly dying. They're doing so many things.
Why they try to change
themselves.
The rules every year because they're
the
trying
nets
to
along
keep
the side. This stuff is never going to end, and it's only going to get worse.
Person, they're going to have nets going all the way around. It's going to be if it hits the net, it's a home run.
Dude,
it's going to be too dangerous for a ball to fly out there.
At the All-Star game, a solid 5 balls were stuck. Remember we were talking about the net and how you were
overhang
I'll do
behind
the front,
home
but
plate.
Not the overhang.
Exactly.
Well, the overhang had 5 balls stuck on them. They didn't even make it all the way off.
Some of them from Home Run Derby too.
No. They cleared it off before that. But what sucked was the worst ones were when a coach or somebody had a ball and they'd go to toss it to the fans and it'd go up and then it's like they didn't know that there was a net over top. And
every stadium has that though.
I don't know how
the coaches totally have to know. When I worked for a minor league baseball team, we had the net going across, and I was saying the same thing. And that was a minor league stadium, and I said the same thing. I'm like, God. And I remember sitting behind home plate. They didn't always have the overhang. They always had the net right behind home, but they didn't have that overhang because I would sit there and get the foul balls as they're bouncing off the
loges.
No, not even the loges. The media booth. Bouncing off the media booth.
Dude, how about this one?
Or when it broke a window one time.
Happened a lot in the All-Star game, and it happened a couple times during the Home Run Derby. But did you see the balls that went rocketing like a bullet straight into the press boxes? Dude, these people are hitting the deck. This ball's just pow, 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 pow.
They open up the windows.
Yeah.
Those windows can handle a ball. They're pretty thick windows.
They're bulletproof.
But it gets freaking hot in those press booths. And I know, I've been in there, it gets freaking hot in those things.
But you think it's a MLB stadium, you can't afford AC?
Yeah, but it was also a really nice night, so I'm sure they wanted the windows open to get a little bit of a natural breeze. But hey, man, you'd think they would know by now. You go to a game every once in a while, normally at least once a game, I feel like you see a ball go to there, and it's if that window was open, it was going in.
Right.
And then sometimes I have seen them go into a press box. And then, I'm watching on TV, and they'll play a replay, and they'll show the guy on the, talking on the TV, immediately drop to the deck because a ball came flying in. And then they'll be like, oh, you almost got hit up there, laughing about it. It's it's going to happen.
Right. You're 100% right. But it is funny. But to the softball game, the only thing one gripe I had was too many of those people weren't from Cleveland. They were representing
I felt like
Cleveland.
I saw the Team Cleveland people. Well, Simone Biles is from Ohio.
Okay,
Stipe is from Cleveland.
So is Travis Kelce.
Tommy was a Cleveland athlete.
Heights. You're right.
Travis Drew Kelce. Carey is from Cleveland. Travis Kelce from Cleveland. Travis Hafner played for Cleveland.
Sandy Alomar.
Sandy Alomar played for Cleveland. So who else wasn't from Cleveland? I mean, this is only 7 of the.
How about the chick from Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Was she on Team Cleveland?
Yeah, dude, she drove me up a wall because she hit the ball got on first. They overthrew it.
And then she didn't run.
Dancing.
Yeah, she was dancing. And then she tried to run. She's like, oh, wait. She was so happy she got it. Who cares? It's like it's the softball game. Like, that's what people pay for.
I definitely wasn't excited for the Futures game, but that game
I didn't stay for it. I left because I was like, I have no interest in this Futures game.
But that softball game was so terrible to watch.
It was so much entertaining. It was so entertaining.
It was extremely entertaining.
Like, so much more entertaining than I thought. Like, I went because you had to buy, because I'm a season ticket holder, I had to buy a whole package for the weekend.
Right.
So, like, my dad, my cousin, my uncle, who we split season ticket with, they're like, we have no interest in going. You can find someone to go. So I took my buddy Randy. And I was, like, expecting it just to be miserable. Like, not, because I've never really watched it on TV either, because it's like, I don't really care. But it's like, it was so much more fun, especially because it was also all Cleveland people, for the most part. You're right, some non-Cleveland people on the team, but still a lot of Cleveland people.
Yeah, I just thought the level of play was so terrible. You know, Jim Tomey's kids played more than he did. I didn't come there to watch baby Tomey. You know, like, my dad felt otherwise. He was like, oh, I think that's fun. But it's like,
no, I didn't come to
watch Jim Tomey get out on his first at-bat and then not bat again. So I think that's a little shitty and unfair to us. I didn't come to watch your 5-year-old kid. And as a result, I just thought it was terrible baseball play. Literally, the 8-year-old kid did better than Simone Biles, who's a gold medalist.
Oh, he did, though.
World.
He hit and actually ran really well.
Yeah, and he caught the ball. He played outfield. They were doing so shitty in the outfield. They allowed the Cleveland team to have 4 outfielders, one of them being an 8-year-old
I noticed
child.
that. I was like, wait, did we have 4 before?
No.
So they were playing with 3 to start.
Yeah, because they felt bad for us.
That's what I wasn't
bad.
sure.
We were losing.
That's what I wasn't sure about. I'm like, wait, there are 4 out there now. I'm like, were there always 4 out there? I thought that, and I said that to Randy. He's like, I don't know, dude. That's a good question. I wasn't paying that close attention. But Simone Biles, God bless her soul. You know, she's from Ohio.
And she's drop dead gorgeous. Oh
she's
my God,
beautiful.
Hey, he's doing shout outs. Simone Biles, if you're ever watching this, I live in Brecksville.
Okay. But anyways, I love her because she's from Ohio, and she was on the Olympic team, and she won us a gold. But yeah, but what I thought it was is
many golds.
A softball is so big, and her hands are small, and her mitt was probably small. So, you know, if we're playing baseball, okay, she might have been able to catch that. But I bet because her hand's small and her glove is small, her glove was probably just too small to even catch or even fit a softball in her glove, I bet.
You're not wrong.
And that's what my dad was saying too. He's like, well, she just has small hands. Her glove was probably small. I'm like, all right, that's fair. But like,
dude, you know what I just realized? I apologize, everyone, that I forgot to unplug the refrigerator, so there's probably a mild hum. But yeah, dude, come on, Simone Biles. What the heck? What the heck, Simone?
God forbid there be a little bit of a hum.
Yeah, well,
I never noticed it in your other ones, though, to be honest.
Well, no, it was just the first one that we did.
Yeah, and I didn't think
it's very hard to notice, but I
also feel like we've been talking a little louder. You and I are sitting a little closer to the mic this time.
Hey, they got us. And regardless, they can hear us. It's not too terrible. If anything, they can turn it down to miss the buzz and hear me yell.
Well, if you're tech savvy where you can get the picture in there like you promised everyone.
It's going to be right here.
You should be able to, drown out that sound.
I hope I'm smart enough to do it twice.
Right here, right now! 3 times.
And the 3rd time, it's a cow.
Moo!
Now,
so that was the celebrity softball game. I feel like we kind of went over it.
I stayed for the Futures game, though, because they were so bad, it had me dying, craving real baseball. People that knew what the hell they were doing, and it got pretty fun. It was a good time. But moving on to the main event!
Yes!
The Home Run Derby. That shit was a blast.
Oh, my God. Honestly, probably the best home run derby I've ever witnessed.
Now, I've never missed a home run derby. That was the best. For me, mainly because I was there live.
There.
I've been to 2 others live.
When they talk about All-Star Weekend like 20 years from now, they're not going to talk about the game. They're not going to talk about celebrity. They're going to talk about the slugfest that went on at that home run derby.
Facts. That was just way too fun. I was so excited for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. because he's on my fantasy baseball team, which is dominating Facts. Behind Ben. Ben is taking over, but I'm
still ahead of Ben.
I'm just staying afloat. You lost to Ben.
But I'm still ahead of
Will lost to Ben. I beat Ben.
I still have more wins than Ben, though. And my point differential is...
All right, well, we're going to get... Regardless...
Number one.
My team is finally on an upswing. If Giancarlo can stay in baseball for the love of freaking God for once, I'll be smooth sailing.
So, home run derby.
Home run derby. I was psyched for Vlad because he's on my fantasy team. And I was even more excited for Carlos Santana, the Cleveland Indian that was starting in the All-Star game, that was going to be representing the city in the home run derby.
I was excited, too.
I went and bought his jersey because, damn it, I wanted to go upstairs and put it on. I was going to have the jersey and the shirt because this is the shirt they wear under the jersey.
If you're getting tech savvy, man, we could turn it off. You could come down and be like, hey, I have it on.
I'm going to do that. Ready? Boop.
And we're
boom.
back.
Look at that. Straight magic.
Whoa.
Movie magic brought to you in Brecksville's basement. Moo.
Finally learning how to work his technology, Alex Gerget.
Moo. All right, so where did we leave off? Oh, so I got this jersey because I was so psyched to cheer on Carlos Santana at the home run derby and at the All-Star game. I was like, I'll get double use of this. When I went Saturday to get the Kid Cudi hat, this lady in front of me goes, why wouldn't you get Frankie Lindor?
Because he's not a starter.
He wasn't a starter.
And it wasn't in the home run derby.
I get double use
He had
out of
his
this.
chance last year. He should have been in it last year.
Yeah, he dropped the ball because he's...
And they say it's because, it'll mess up their swing. It's like, well, he doesn't have that great of a swing right now, so
Yeah.
maybe he should have competed last year.
But I'm like, me and Will were talking shit. I was at the home run derby. Will was texting me beforehand. We were talking shit about this lady because I was like, why wouldn't I get... Are you nuts? Why wouldn't I get Carlos Santana? He's in the home run derby. I was really holding out that he was going to perform well. Now, he had a rough set. He had a rough set, but he only lost by one home run the last second to the guy who ended up winning it.
So, let me ask you this. Is there not a rule, or maybe it wasn't this year, but I swear it was a rule at least, where you had to wait until the ball landed in order to throw?
Not a rule. Can I tell you why?
Hang on. Did you notice that the Indians pitcher, the one pitcher, was the only one who was actually waiting, he didn't wait till it landed, but he waited a long, and so this woman next to me was yelling, "You're waiting too long!" Like, okay, that pitcher's gonna hear you from up here, but that's what also hurt him, is the pace was way too slow.
Well, you know what's funny is, I don't like that they keep changing the home run derby. I love
this set. I like this one.
I loved it best when we were younger, when they had 10 outs. Because here's how, think about, Ryan Howard. Dude, before the game of the celebrity match, people are doing autographs and stuff. And I go, hey, Ryan! And he turns and I go, none of us miss you! And he just goes, dude, I hate Ryan Howard because rewind back to 2009, there was nobody who was more of a dick at that All-Star game, not signing autographs, blowing people off, high on their own shit, thinking they're the coolest people alive, more than Ryan Howard. That guy was such an ass.
He was hot shit.
Dude, he was there were so many hotter people at that time. You had Josh Hamilton, who's a post-home run derby winner, who's incredible. Prince Fielder. I mean, David Wright, Derek Jeter, A-Rod.
He was still...
Albert Pujols was the home guy. Dude, this was back in the day when everybody was on steroids and the game was blast.
But, anyways, I liked this setup. Only because...
The 10 outs, though, right? The 10 outs were you could take as many pitches as possible every time you hit the ball.
If it wasn't a home run, it was an out. Yeah, right. I remember that way.
I love that because then you can let pitches go. You're not rushed, and we get to see who's the real slammer, right?
Do you not think we saw who was... Dude, we saw who was the slammer.
But he didn't win.
He was just tired because he couldn't outperform his opponent. His opponent
who could barely beat out Carlos Santana, who embarrassed Cleveland.
Because it was, okay.
Okay, I think Carlos embarrassed us.
So Carlos...
You owe it to his pitcher. So that could be true.
No, not just to his pitcher, but as a whole. Okay, so, all right. Being the home crowd, we had to have someone representing us there. The person who's managing to hit the best right now is Santana. Because Santana is more of a line drive type of hitter, even when he hits his home runs. Whereas if you looked away, Guerrero and Pedersen was hitting. They were hitting them way up and out there. But you're watching Carlos Zinger, like just straight, and he's like hitting right underneath.
Dude, tell me those
time.
for a baseball game, every hit he hit was an on-base great hit.
Oh yeah, but not for home run derby.
Bingo. And
that's why he was the best on our team, because he does hit those, and every once in a while he does hit it up enough to where he gets those home runs. But he wasn't the type of home run hitter who was gonna be able to be successful in that home run derby.
Right.
Sadly.
So it just sucked watching him he didn't do that hot at the All-Star game. You know, Frankie didn't do anything at the All-Star game. I don't know, but you had Carlos Santana kind of shit the bed. He didn't do that good. However, we had the show of a century that none of us saw coming. Vlad versus Pedersen. I think it's Pedersen.
I actually think it's Pedersen. I thought it was Jacques Pedersen. Oh, it is Jacques Pedersen. I think.
And I remember the announcer, and
I know
I'm pretty
Jacques.
sure. Right. It's French, Jacques.
Jacques.
But he just barely lost to Vlad, and the tiebreaker was a distance hit. Who had the farthest hit? It was the coolest thing ever. What we experienced, people,
we had a tie,
a shootout,
and a tie.
But it wasn't just a mild tie. So first, Vlad demolishes.
Set the record in his first at bat with 29.
In the first at bat.
His first round,
then
he set the record.
He gets 30. And they did a time analysis to where he didn't get the last home run. So they took away the 30 and made it 29 again, and that's where he tied Pedersen. And Pedersen had 29. That's where they were in the bracket. The two of them had to go into overtime, which gave them, a minute?
And he got to 39.
Yes, and then Pedersen squeaked it out with the last hit
to tie it up at 39. Then it was a three.
They get three pitches. That was it.
No, not 3 pitches, 3 swings. They could let it go and wait. They had 3 swings.
That was it. Yeah. You're right. Then they go for the 3 swings, and Vlad gets 1 home run out of the 3. Pedersen comes up, gets 1 home run out of the 3. They're going to do one more 3-swing head off. The two of them
40-40 at this point.
Vlad gets 2. Oof, that's tough to beat. In comes Pedersen. Pedersen gets 2. The tiebreaker.
42 that round, did they? Was it
the tiebreaker between the two was whose shot was the furthest, and Vlad had the furthest shot. That was the coolest head-to-head battle I've ever seen.
That was even better. Like, that should have been the championship.
There in the environment, the whole crowd.
I could see all of them flying. Oh, my God.
That was it, too, dude. Vlad, with the first round combined, he out-hit everyone there.
Well, total, throughout the whole home runs, he had, 91, 92 total home runs. That is the most anyone has hit in a home run derby.
Right. Well over. And the guy who ended up winning it only had, half as many total. But at the end of the day, that's how you win. Vlad was tired at that last round, lost by 1 home run. I mean, that was a hell of a show. Vlad won the crowd well over. The whole place was going nuts for him.
God.
And he wasn't even in the All-Star game.
And also, because he was going up against Alonso, who beat Santana, everyone was booing Alonso every time he hit. I mean, every time he hit, the crowd was booing him. And so once Santana got
beat... It's the Mets, dude. We don't like the Mets.
It was because he was up against Santana in a hometown, dude. No, I don't think it was because of the Mets.
It's because we don't like the Mets.
You don't like the Mets. I don't think people in Cleveland as a whole don't like the Mets.
Yes, they do. No one likes New York.
No one likes New York, but I don't think it was because he was a Mets person. I think it was because he beat Santana.
Well, it was the same thing at the All-Star game. They didn't just boo him. They booed the other Mets player as well, aggressively.
Well, good. We should...
And the Cubs.
You mean DeGrom?
It was Mets. Yeah, it was DeGrom.
Well, the Cubs beat us out of the World Series. Of course we're going to hate them.
It was great. All the Cubs fans at the games, people were shitting on him like, bah. I
didn't really even see that many Cubs fans when I was down there.
No, dude, I thought the same thing until the All-Star game. That's why I made the comment to my dad.
And that was the one thing I didn't go to.
I was telling my dad, I was like, this is what I expected the whole weekend to be.
But it wasn't.
It was all Cleveland people until the All-Star game where it was like just exactly how you would imagine it, and how it always has been. It's just there was a solid, thread of Cleveland through the whole game, but there was everybody from every walk of life. That's why it's such a blast.
You think they would have been at more if I was out of town coming into Cleveland for the All-Star game, I would have, because you have to buy a whole weekend package when you buy a package, unless you're just buying an individual ticket. But again, if you're coming out of town, especially from New York, for the weekend, wouldn't you be at the whole weekend
right.
events? So why, or even Chicago, why didn't we see all these people before? I think I saw not that many Cincinnati, in my opinion.
Yeah, that was surprising.
Saw
I thought it would be way more.
a decent amount of Pittsburgh people.
Yeah.
That's only an hour and a half away. But, honestly, as a whole, it's I
Wait,
only
an hour
saw
and a half? That's 3 hours.
Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Pittsburgh's 2 hours away, man.
Pittsburgh is closer to 3 hours, bro. You literally cut the drive. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
You had to put directions. Yeah, maps right there. Come on, dude. Don't you know how to work a computer?
That's what I was literally doing.
Directions.
Where do you see that?
Right there.
Oh, nice.
Put in your address. Just put in
They
Cleveland.
can't do current address?
Well, not because you're on your computer, so you probably don't.
My computer always does that wonko shit.
2 hours and 8 minutes, so
2 hours? 2 hours and 8 minutes. Yeah, you're right.
When I go to
I thought
visit
it was longer
you
than that.
in Pennsylvania,
And Harrisburg's 5 hours.
yes,
5 and a
exactly.
half.
Pittsburgh is Erie, PA is an hour across the border,
Right.
and then Pittsburgh's an hour.
Man, I always thought it was 3 hours. Even though I'm driving right through it, essentially.
Exactly, you drive that more than I do, and I knew it. I've driven to Pennsylvania all of 2 or 3 times to visit you and Zach, and I've managed to know how far Pittsburgh is. Schittsburg. But, so, yeah, Home Run Derby was awesome. So then you were at the at the All-Star game. I had my dad and uncle.
Had all its fun.
My cousin and I went to the other stuff. My dad and uncle went to the All-Star game, so tell me what you thought about the All-Star game.
Okay, dude, the All-Star game was a great night to spend with my dad. We had front row seats on the top level, so it was just a gorgeous view. We were right on the batter's box.
Yeah, you're right.
So,
that section's right behind the home plate.
Dude, it was
great view for sure.
Oh, dude, it was just a beautiful night of baseball.
The weather that weekend was amazing too.
How about this?
I was so worried we were gonna get shit weather.
Dude, I could tell you for a fact, every day since the All-Star game, I have thought to myself at some point, Mother Nature has to be a baseball fan. Because the entire week leading into this weekend was, it's going to rain all weekend. It's going to be a terrible weekend. It's going to rain all weekend. It's going to rain all weekend. And then there was not a drop. Not a drop. No, it was freaking hot, dude. Yeah, we were laughing the cowboy rash. I'm walking
At least it wasn't rainy, and if it was raining, it would have been more humid and everything too.
And dude, it was bad. But it was a gorgeous weekend to be outside. There was great baseball. Just being in that environment with Shane Bieber pitching, the whole just mass.
MVP, man.
Let's go, Bieber. Let's go, Bieber. The whole play. Dude, I wanted to wring the neck of this bitch next to me. She was sitting next to my dad, and she goes, "Let's go, Justin." I'm like, no.
Justin, what? Justin Bieber?
Bieber was pitching. She goes, "Let's go, Justin."
No, his name is Bieber.
It's Shane Bieber, damn it. I was like, yo.
Oh, shit, yeah. Dude, just because I know Shane Bieber and I people make that connection, I kind of almost let that go for a second there. I almost let that go, and I'm almost ashamed of myself that I let that go. Wow.
Yeah.
And that was a Cleveland fan sitting next to you?
Yeah. She called him Justin, dude.
Because you were yelling Bieber?
Because everybody was yelling Bieber, and she goes, "Let's go, Justin."
She had to have been joking.
No.
She had to have been joking.
She was 40.
My mom's up there. I'm not going to say her
Well
age.
over that.
She would be mad at me if I said it. But, yeah, my mom's older than that, and she knows Shane Bieber
is different than Justin Bieber. Dude, this lady cracked me up. "Let's go, Justin." I'm like,
that's
do you know where you are?
Well, he was the MVP, and then what was depressing was Brad Hand did not do well at the All-Star game.
Right.
He does amazing for us as a pitcher, but at
the whole time my dad's like, "Pull him out. He should have been pulled out a long time. If we're actually trying to win, and that's where I come back with the MLB ruined it. Again, like I said, they're terrible at making money.
There's no home court advantage to play for anymore.
And that's what made
just like the
baseball
Pro Bowl
All-Star
means
game.
nothing.
Right.
It means nothing.
And it never did. The NBA has been a joke ever since, forever.
NBA's been a joke forever.
And so it's like, this is the only All-Star game that meant something. They had to compete. Dude, you
won
saw
something.
every pitcher 1 inning. Justin Verlander, 1 inning. Hall of Famer, out. Chapman, they saved for 1 inning at the end, out. Shane Bieber, 3 batters and out. Only saw him for 1 inning, out. It's like, this is the All-Star game. We should be trying to win. We should be capitalizing on the fact
But
that
they're trying to get all the stars out there, all the different teams.
Listen, I would have rather...
It's
Chapman,
a money thing. It's all a money thing.
I will be the first to concede, as much as I'm an Indians fan, as much as I love Cleveland, and I love seeing Shane win, I would have been just as much content with seeing Chapman get it. Because I'm sorry, that was the coolest performance I've ever seen. Like, it was just light. There is something... I hate Chapman because he was the Cubs pitcher that sank our ship. I hate Chapman because he's a freaking Yankee now. I hate him. But
I don't like both those
he's
teams.
on my fantasy team, and if there's one thing I'm going to be the first to concede, this dude is incredible to watch. He's lights out amazing. Now, Shane was 3 batters, Chapman was 3 batters. Nobody was touching Chapman's ball. One of Shane's outs were a hit that was an out. Mm-hmm. Chapman was lights out, dude. The crowd was nuts.
Well, there were an outrageous amount of strikeouts in that game, too.
Well, because they were playing for keeps. And that's the other thing that I'm going to keep. Like, if somebody next to me was like, well, they're not competing for anything anymore. Like, they don't take it as serious anymore, blah, 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 blah. So, I know. So, they, the only shame of it all is, or the reason I disagree with that comment, that, you know, it's a show like the NBA, it's a show like the football anymore.
It's still definitely less of a show. The MLB...
Because the way baseball as a game is set up is just as much as the batter needs to look good by getting some big dingers, the pitcher needs to look good by not affording any dingers. So as long as you have 2 people, one, you'll never have a pitcher. I mean, this isn't a regular game.
No pitcher is going to say, yo, hit a dinger off of me.
Bingo. Because
like, even if they're going up against the best batter and they know they might not have a chance, they're still going to try and not give up a ding. Or, hey, you know, we're down 15 runs. Still not going to actively try to give something up because that affects their stats, their prospects, their future money.
So there's too much competition.
So
right, that's my point.
And that's why I like baseball, though. It is so individual.
And they have a statistic for everything.
Well, that's the shifts. The shifts, man. The shifts in baseball.
Right.
Because the analytics, the statistics, they can, based on the pitch and where you put it, they can know exactly where you're going to hit it now.
Yeah, that's true, too. It is crazy how some of those shifts, it's like...
All right, if you throw a 90-mile curveball in the top right-hand corner, he makes contact, it should go there based on 89% of his hits.
That's crazy.
They can, like, break that stuff down.
And it is funny when you look at the field sometimes where they're completely kicked.
No one in left field, everyone in right field.
And you're like, you guys are screwing yourself. You're leaving any good player would be able to direct the ball like we did in Little League and put it right where you're not. But little do you realize
the spin
it's not
they're putting on the ball, the way they pitch the ball, where they're putting the ball.
And it's all purposely done that ball will never end up there. And that's the craziest part of it all. But yeah, it was a great time, dude. I just think Shane won. The American League always wins. That's why they took away the home field advantage So for people who don't know, the All-Star game, if you won, you got to have home field advantage to the World Series for the first game. What's that?
Like, they're bringing people from all these teams, the best of the best. You're telling me the NL can't...
Because we're a wealthier league. We spend more. That's just what it is. Like, the fact of the matter is, the AL always wins. That's why they took it away.
Telling me the Cubs don't have money.
But it's not rightfully so. Oh, yeah, they do. They just don't spend it. You're 100% right. I couldn't agree more.
They have more money than we're a mid-market team.
But, dude, I'm sorry. If you just even looked at the 2 rosters, it was like...
Oh, I know. The American League's just stacked as hell.
But just this year, where, you know, my dad said... Well, what sucks about these games anymore is when we were growing up, and even more specifically when he was growing up, that you had a field of Hall of Famers. Now we're lucky if you could pick one or two out of the list.
And
that
it's
are
like,
going to
I
the
would
Hall of
wish I
Fame.
could say Lindor would be a Hall of Famer, but
It'll be
won't
close.
because it's like, exactly, it'll be so close, and I want him to. But I wish I could
Even
say
if he finishes his
will
career,
be.
majority of his career in New York, where he will.
Yeah, because he did well
Calling
for us,
here
and
first,
he
folks.
went on that run for us.
Yeah, you're right. It would
I
suck
would
to
care
watch it
for
happen,
him more than I would LeBron, who left in a very douchey way.
Right.
Like, you can't
Who
forget
actually
the way he
had
left.
ties to our
Who actually had ties to our
I mean, this
city.
dude's Puerto Rican. He's from Puerto Rico. He has no loyalty to Cleveland.
If you listen to Lindor mic'd up, hey, how you liking my city? Welcome to my city. You enjoying Cleveland? Cleveland's a great place. He was talking about Cleveland all the time. And, like, he's going up to fans on the side of the field who aren't from Cleveland going, hey, like, sign autographs. How'd you like Cleveland? Oh, like, yeah, you went there? Yeah, that's a cool place. He was talking to people, talking about Cleveland. Like, this is my city. It's like, we all know, and he knows he ain't here for more than another year.
Right.
Because he only has 2 years left. We'll maybe keep for another year and then get rid of him before his last year. But he loves Cleveland. And maybe he doesn't, but he puts on a damn good persona that he does.
Yes and no. I feel like, personally, I've been seeing more and more of the
Facade.
Like, you're
More
seeing
now because he knows he's on his way out.
Yeah,
here.
and you see behind the curtain, it's like, wow, this isn't the wizard I thought it was, you know? You're like, you're just a dude behind a curtain playing us all, trying to get the big contract, which
we
I'm
offered
not blaming
him,
you in the
we offered him
slightest.
like $100 million contract like a year or two ago. It was like for 5 years. I don't know, some certain amount of year, but like $100 million contract. Knowing now what some of these players are getting paid, I understand why he didn't take it.
Oh, yeah!
Because he was waiting to see what those people were going to get. Oh my God, Lindor's going to get paid.
Oh, 100%.
$400 million at least, I bet.
You know, dude, I think if he kept
More than $300
up,
million.
I think if he kept up the pace that he was at in 2016.
But he got hurt this year. That's also part of what hurts him too.
Yeah, and his performance has been
all right, so over
increasingly
300
lower. I mean, he's getting a shitload.
Over
of money.
300 million,
more
for sure.
than what the Indians will be willing to pay him.
At
That's
the
for
most, if we cut our roster, traded, and went for prospects.
But then we have nobody.
Exactly. So what we should do now
Is just double down on Mercado, baby.
Oh yes, good. Oh my God, yeah, he's good. I'm
love
so
him.
happy we
I
brought him
love
up.
him.
He's more fun to watch
Love
than anyone
him.
else on the team,
Dude, I
But
love
anyways, what we should do is maybe trade Hand or Bauer. I definitely think we should trade Bauer. I think Hand's got a little more
Get
value being a
him
closer.
out of here.
But
Double down on Clevenger.
especially because Bauer cut his hand in the World Series. It's like he's just bad juju.
No, my thing is, somebody needs to shut that asshole up on Twitter.
But that's what the MLB needs more of, is more personality from the MLB
Hold on.
players.
You need more Bryce Harper wearing troll shoes and less this dude
But
fighting
he's
with
the
people
only
on
MLB
Twitter.
player who actually like uses Twitter and is like out there actively. So you gotta give him that. Yeah, he's a freaking asshole on Twitter, but at least he's active, and that's what the MLB needs, though, is more activity from their players, more involvement from their players, at least in my opinion. And I don't think I'm alone in that. I think a lot of major media people say the same thing, like
About
player
what?
involvement is just at an all-time low. Like if you watch,
Can I
if
be honest
someone
with
was
you?
walking down
Do
the
you-
street, you're more likely to pick out an NBA or an NFL player than an MLB player, and an NFL player is
think-
wearing a helmet.
Can you at least, I want to say I attest a good portion of that to the fact that most of them don't even speak English.
Yeah.
I'm not. You know what's funny though that the All-Star game pointed out and just kind
But
of
even like Trout, who's like a big star and speaks
But
English,
he's
he's just a
socially-
nobody on. He's a nobody. He has no one knows anything about him. He has no
Dude,
personality.
I saw his face legitimately for the first time this weekend. Like, you've known of him, you've seen him.
Exactly. You
But it's
wouldn't
like-
recognize him walking down the street.
Never.
Oh, he's actually probably the one person 90% of people who watch baseball would probably he's one of the few people. You
I don't know, dude. I'll be honest with you. As somebody who watches a lot of baseball, until this weekend, he could have walked right past me and I wouldn't have.
He may have, for all you know.
Exactly,
But
dude.
anyways, oh my God. As a whole, great weekend. So many things more we could
One
talk
other
about
thing
with
that I wanted to bring up was
so many more things.
there was the they did at the fifth inning. They did
I Stand.
I Stand, And, dude, it brought the whole crowd lost their minds. And it brought me to a tear. It brought every
That
person.
was one of the best moments,
Dude, they brought Carrasco out.
He was out there. I saw that, too. It's like, that was great. And he looked really good for someone who's going through treatment for leukemia.
Dude, he looked like Carrasco.
He looked
Carrasco.
really well for someone who's going through leukemia treatment.
And I will owe it, he had a rough season, and you could probably, attest that to the fact that he had a lot of rough situations going on in his life while he was battling this situation with his health. But there's one thing that he'll always have affection for me with. Coming into this season, we had a real hard time balancing our money. Who we could afford. We had to get rid of Encarnacion because he was just sucking us dry and not performing for shit.
And now he's doing well
finally
this year.
afford Santana back again, and he's doing a little bit hotter again. But Carlos Carrasco, because he's so in on Cleveland, like we were talking about with MGK, Cleveland till he died. Like, he's so in love with us as a community, the city, that he was willing to take a cut, just like this is KD in the NBA for the Warriors. He was willing to take a cut to stay where he wanted to be. And he said, publicly, I want to raise my family in Cleveland. I want to live in Cleveland. This is a place that I love and the people love me. This is where I want to spend the rest of my life. This is not a guy from Cleveland. This is a guy that was brought into Cleveland, came to love and learn about Cleveland, and as a result, he took a pay cut so he could stay in Cleveland.
And at some point we will have to let him go. Because Dolans are slowly going to start cutting the payroll and
But let's be honest, I'm not going to sit here and pretend the dude's going to be worth a shitload coming back.
No. So, as long as he's willing to keep taking a pay cut, because what I'm saying is the Dolans will continue to make pay cuts.
Which is
they're going to rebuild.
They
see their window closing.
That was the thing that kept being brought up to me was the reason we got rid of the Chief Wahoo was because of Black Lives Matter, and the Dolans are trying to be politicians. They want to be able to say that they got rid of Chief Wahoo. And, dude, I heard so many theories.
No, they got rid of it because of what you're at right now.
The All-Star Game. That's what I said.
But
at the same time, the MLB commissioner came out and said...
Oh, I heard him.
Same day as the All-Star Game. It's like, no. You didn't say this a year and a half ago when you announced that we had the All-Star Game and we were also getting rid of Chief Wahoo. For some reason, you said it the day of the All-Star Game, like you were catching wind of the narrative amongst the fans or something. Like, why'd you choose today?
Dude, my hope is that we get an owner that just says, fuck you, MLB. I own this team now. I'm bringing back Chief Wahoo. Because there was no written agreement. There was no written agreement, I don't think at least. Maybe there was behind closed doors.
Backdoor deals.
Exactly,
Handshakes.
Backdoor deals with that owner. That owner.
No, you're right.
So when a new owner comes in, what backdoor deal is it going to say?
There isn't.
If an owner's worth his shit, he'll bring back Chief Wahoo and make bank off of that shit.
All right, I need you to pick a number 50 or below. 1 through 50.
15.
Okay. So we're going to end this thing, wrapping it up. All-Star Weekend was a blast. Glad I got to talk about it with you. Glad you guys were listening.
We were there
if
for
you're
most
still
of it,
listening, then you deserve and earn this fun. So you picked 15. Doug, would you rather make out with your boss or watch your partner make out with their boss?
Would I rather make out with my boss or watch
100%.
them make out with their partner?
Yeah.
Or watch my partner make out with my boss? What does this
Watch your partner make out with their boss.
say? With their boss. Or me make out with their partner. Or
With your boss.
I'm
hanging out with my boss, dude.
What boss? Do I get to pick the boss? Because I have a few bosses, like my department head, the
Let's
owner.
go with the head honcho.
The head honcho's a
Mine
guy.
will be the judge.
The head honcho's a guy. The closest head honcho.
So would you rather make out with a guy or watch your girlfriend make out with her guy boss?
But what if her boss is a female? Because then I'm down with that.
Well, that's not my scenario. That's not the.
But I also don't have a partner, so what's that scenario?
It's your partner. your guy.
But we don't know if she's if her boss is a female or a male.
Man, does it matter? LGBTQ plus divided.
It does, because I don't want. Okay, fine. She could make out with her boss because I don't want to make out with my boss who's a guy. So that's the point I'm at. Because if it's a girl, cool. I'm okay with that. And if
But
it's a
you
guy,
don't want to prevent. You don't want to prevent your girlfriend from making out with another guy.
I mean, she can make out with her boss as long as she ends up with me at the end of the night.
But what if she really likes that kiss? Is that a risk worth taking when you can just kiss this time?
Because I'm not kissing.
No, you gotta make out with him.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not making out with my boss. So yeah, I go with that. All right, so I'll take this and let me choose yours.
No. Pick a number.
Oh, how many am I doing?
I answered.
What'd you answer?
Okay, my answer would be I didn't answer. I'd rather
You
make out with
didn't
the
answer.
judge. She's a woman. I'm making
At
out with
least
the
she's
judge.
a woman. There you go. Okay.
Okay, but if I had to play with your scenario, if I had a male boss or I had to watch my girlfriend kiss her male boss, I'm watching her kiss her male boss.
Exactly. Moo. 25.
Would you rather have a sugar mama who asks for sex a lot or one who asks for nudes a lot?
That's for sex.
Sex a lot.
Yeah, that's the dumbest question ever.
Could you imagine being able to be like a woman and use sex as your
See,
tool?
I think that's more of a question for a woman because, like, for a
100%.
guy, the guy's almost always going to choose sex.
Right.
The woman,
But imagine
it's like, all right,
if she-
yeah, I'll send you nudes and stuff going through all
But
that.
if she's coming up to you going like, I want the sex. Now, have you ever, there's never been a point in time where a man has had the power of going, ooh, what will you do for thy sex?
Well, that was a dumb question.
It was a dumb
I'll let
question.
you pick the next one because that was pretty bad.
We're going to go with 47, AJ Hawk. Would you rather have sex in the boardroom, at your office, or in the parking lot?
Boardroom of the office because your
These are
boardroom's
so-
a court. Order in the court. Bang that gavel.
You're in contempt!
Bailiff.
We need some help here.
We need some handcuffs over here. That might be the best one I think we've
That
had.
is the best one. Oh, we got to end on that. That was great, Doug. High five.
Yes.
I hope you enjoyed our recap of this amazing weekend. If you're not into baseball, I apologize. I
It
know
was
this.
Cleveland.
Let's go, Cleveland. We should coast this out to some MJK music, but that'll get me kicked off. Of YouTube.
MJK.
Dude, that's what my sister kept saying all of Celebrity Weekend, just because my dad's like, you gonna try to get MJK's autograph on your way out? And so the whole time my sister's like, MJK. So Allison, if you ever listen to this, I literally unconsciously made the same mistake my father did. So we
You are your dad.
are cut from the same cloth and cut dad a break. It was a mistake.
Mistakes happen.
Mistakes happen. All right, thanks, fam. It was a pleasure. I had a blast. Did you have fun?
Oh, this
It
was
great.
fun.
This was a
All-Star
blast.
Talking's always fun.
All-Star. Next time
The weekend was fun.
The next time we're going to find the cure to cancer and break down why the liberals are terrible. Nice meeting you. Have a good night. Peace. Oh, yeah. And like and subscribe and share with your friends, or else this will never
Get big.
do anything.
Go
So
anywhere.
I am desperately hanging on to you people. So I beg of you, please and most specifically, if you could share that.
Hey, if anyone knows Machine Gun Kelly and
Or
can send
Simone
this-
Biles.
or Simone Biles and can send this to them, we will forever be in your debt, and we'd love to have you on.
Yeah, and I love you, so I'm proposing to you now. Peace. All right, good night. Good night.
Moo.